All right, folks, it's 5:30 p.m. on Tuesday, April 13th, 2021. We'll begin the regular session of the Board of Public Works here in just a moment. This is Adam Wason, Public Works Director for the City of Bloomington. As we begin our meeting tonight, just want to remind anyone on the meeting that would like to offer public comment. You can use the raise hand function for any of the different agenda items, or you could use the chat function. We'll make sure to keep a public record of those. And again, Adam Wason, Public Works Director, City of Bloomington. I'll turn it over to Kyla Cox-Deckard, who will be running the meeting tonight for Dana Palazzo, President of the Board of Public Works, who could not attend. So we've got our quorum with Kyla and Beth Hollingsworth here. So I'll turn it over to Kyla and we'll go from there.
Thanks, Adam. I would like to call to order this regular meeting of the Board of Public Works this Tuesday, April 13th of 2021. First up on the agenda, we have messages from board members. Do we have any messages from the board?
I do. Tomorrow begins the yard waste collection, and that's every other week. And I just want to tell the crews to be extra careful in how much they lift. There are several guidelines for amounts, but anyway, it's coming starting tomorrow. So have a good yard waste collection time.
Great.
Thanks, Beth. Next up, we have petitions and remonstrances. If we have anyone who is present to make a public comment about something that is not on the agenda this evening, now is the opportunity to do so. Do we have anyone who would like to make public comment on something not on the agenda? Feel free to use the chat or raise hand function if so.
Looks like the only member of the public we might have on would be Mr. Askins with B Square Beacon. I don't see any hands raised from him so far, so we'll assume we have no public comment on this.
All right, next on the agenda is the consent agenda. Within the consent agenda is the approval of minutes for March 30th of 2021. Resolution 2021-07, mobile vendor renewal for push cart in the public right-of-way, and that's for Rasta Pops. Resolution 2021-08, mobile vendor renewal push cart in public right-of-way for Chocolate Mousse. Resolution 2021-10, 6th Street encroachment for Black Lives Matter mural. Policy on conflicts of interest related to Deputy Mayor, and approval of payroll. Do we have any items that need to be removed from the consent agenda this evening? Hearing none. Do we have any public comment on the consent agenda?
I don't see anything showing up here, Kyla.
Okay, hearing none. Do we have a motion on the consent agenda?
I move that we approve the consent agenda.
And I second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Next up, under new business, we have change order number 1 for the curve warning signs project with Regal Inc.
Good evening, everyone. Russell White with the City of Bloomington Engineering Department. This was a project that was awarded to Regal Incorporated, and work began on this project around February 24th of this year. The contract included the replacement or relocation of several traffic warning signs within the City of Bloomington. The original contract amount for this project was $31,551. Change order number 1 is required to balance out the final contract amount because there was a couple small errors in the plan set that required us to purchase additional signage. There was also a request from a citizen to add signage to this project, which we did. So if approved, this change order would result in an increase of $372.75 and make the final adjusted contract amount $31,923.75. Now, answer any questions anyone has.
Has the project been completed? Is it complete?
Yes, ma'am. The project is complete.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions on this item? Any public comment on this item?
I do not see any, Kyla.
All right, seeing none, is there a motion on this item?
I move that we approve change order number 1 for the curve warning signs project with Rago Inc.
And I second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you. Next, we have lane closures on North Walnut Street and alley closure requests from Goodman Construction.
Good evening. This is Paul Kerberg with the engineering department. Goodman Construction Company is requesting to close one lane of North Walnut Street from 15th to 17th Streets. This is to make the water and sewer connection for a new building that they're building at 1117 North Walnut Street. They will keep one lane of Walnut open at all times. They need to cross the entire street, and they'll do it in phases. The lane closures will be from April 26th to April 30th, 2021. And then for the alley closure, this will be the east-west alley immediately adjacent to their project. That closure will take place from April 19th to April 30th, 2021. And then also as part of this, they will need to temporarily close the sidewalk on each side of North Walnut. The east side will be closed on April 26th, and then the west side sidewalk will be closed on April 28th. And then we've discussed this with the contractor, and we've reviewed their maintenance and traffic plans, and they've notified all the adjacent properties. Are there any questions?
Thank you. Are there questions on this item?
I guess I just
No, I
asked
don't
real quick. This is Adam. Paul, have we made sure that the contractor's been in communication directly with the daycare? I think what would be to the south of them to make sure that coordination's taking place.
Yes, and go ahead. You can go ahead there.
Sorry, Paul. This is Derek Goodman.
Yeah, thanks, sir.
No, no problem. We have been in contact with them. The actual guy that's building the property that we're taking the lines to is the actual owner of the daycare itself. So he's well aware of what we're trying to do in the alleyway and plus in front of the building on Walnut Street.
Well, that's good to know. That makes that easy.
Yeah.
And I was just going to add that I did talk to the director of the daycare this afternoon, and she just made the request that it's only that eastern portion of the alley immediately adjacent to the property, and that is where the project is.
Yes.
Yep. Yeah.
Thank
so
you.
That way they can still access from college in the alley to get to the back of their building. So,
Yes.
yep.
Perfect. Thank you.
And I
Will that
had a
take,
question on the
yeah, go ahead.
sidewalk. Sorry, I had a question on the sidewalk closure. Is part of the maintenance of traffic plan, do they have advanced signs just to let people know to cross ahead of the sidewalk closure at the nearest appropriate crossing area?
Yes, the plan has signs up at, it's either 14th or 15th at the crosswalk, and then also down at 17th where there is a marked crosswalk.
Great, thank you. Beth, did you have a question?
Yes, I just want to know if there's special signage because there is a daycare center there. Would that be kind of increased notification that we're in a daycare area zone?
There isn't special signage, but we'll make sure that there's definitely signage and barricades
Okay,
right
yeah.
around the work area.
I think that would be important with people unloading children. So
Yeah.
I'm picking them up. Okay, thank you.
Any other questions on this item from the board? Any public comment on this item?
Again, any members of the public that would like to offer a public comment should use the raise hand or the chat function. I don't see any public comment on, okay. Hang on, we do have a iPhone that wishes to make a comment here.
Hi, sorry. My name is Beth Mordan, and I am the chair of board of directors for that daycare. And I truly appreciate the comments on making sure that there is signage, letting people know that there is a daycare in the area, because we do have to unload the children. So being able to enter through College, heading west on that alley, going behind the Big Red is where we'll be dropping the children off and taking them out. And then if we could just have some signage, even on 15th, to let people know to slow down, because I'm sure there's going to be confusion with the alley closure and the Walnut Street closure as well.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Beth.
Paul and Mr. Goodman, I think, oh, hang on. We've got another person that's joining the meeting right now. So Paul and Mr. Goodman, you know, I guess the request, and let's, obviously, if the property owners are the same for both properties, there's plenty of opportunity for coordination there. But if we can just assure folks that, you know, there will be, I think we don't need to go overboard, but additional signage about the daycare, about, you know, slowing speeds and construction and those sorts of things. I think that would be helpful. And then obviously during the peak drop-off pickup times, you know, just I think it goes without stating, just increased safety measures, making sure that the drop-off pickup goes smoothly and you know, is all very coordinated. So thank you.
Any other public comment on this item?
I don't see any here, Kyla, and there's no other raised hands. So,
All right, is there a motion on this item?
I move that we approve lane closures on North Walnut Street and alley closure request from Goodman Construction.
And I second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next up, we have a consulting services agreement with Martin Riley, Inc. for building design and site surveys for new fire station.
all right, yes, I'm Wason here on behalf of JD Boroff. This is just a contract for site investigations and development of a general building plan for a possible future fire station. This would be site surveys for potential locations, for property boundaries, phase 1 environmental surveys, and preliminary development plans. We've worked with Martin Riley for several different projects over the years, specific to the fire stations, and this is their specific expertise. So we're asking for approval for this contract with Martin Riley, Inc.
Thank you. Questions from the board on this item?
No, I don't have a question.
Any public comment on this item?
I do not see any raised hands, and I do not see any chat comments either, Paula. Yeah, I don't see any here, Kyla.
Seeing none, is there a motion on this item?
I move that we approve consulting services agreement with Martin Riley, Inc. for building design and site surveys for the new fire station.
And I second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Next up, we have a provider of de-icing salt with Cargill, Inc.
All right, again, Adam Wason, Public Works Director for the City of Bloomington. At yesterday's work session, we opened bids for our de-icing salt contract, and we received one bid from Cargill, Inc. for $91.46 per ton. Morton Salt declined to bid on our request, and so we have had good working relationship with Cargill over the last several years for their clear lane de-icing salt, and would ask for approval of this bid. Approval and awarding of the bid.
Any questions from the board on this item?
No.
Any public comment on this item?
I do not see any.
Do we have a motion from the board?
I move that we approve Cargill as a provider of the de-icing salt.
And I second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Next up, we have provider of concrete services, Irving Materials, Inc.
Yeah, this is again Adam Wason, Public Works Director for the City of Bloomington, asking for approval and awarding of the quote for concrete materials to IMI, otherwise known as Irving Materials, Inc. And this is for Class A concrete at $106 per yard, Class A concrete with 2% calcium at $113 per yard, Class A concrete with reinforcement for $111 per yard, and a trip charge if less than 3 yards of $100. Of the two bidders, we felt that IMI's bid was the most responsible and responsive, and I request your approval of awarding the quote.
Thank you. Questions from the board on this item?
No.
Any public comment on this item?
Concrete bids, I can't believe we're not getting any public comment about the concrete awards. No, I don't see any.
All right, seeing none. Do we have a motion from the board?
I move that we approve Irving Material, Inc. As a provider for concrete services.
And I second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. And next up, we have staff reports and other business.
Adam Wason again, Public Works Director. Wanted to echo Beth's note that we have started our yard waste season, and if you need any information about the guidelines for putting out your yard waste, you can go to the city's website, bloomington.in.gov/sanitation, and you'll get all that great information there. A couple other things just to note. I want to say, just offer some special retirement wishes to a longtime city employee. Deputy Mayor Mick Renheisen will be retiring from over 35, I think it's over 35 years of service to the city of Bloomington as an organization in many different roles, including longtime Parks Director and as Deputy Mayor for the last 5+ years. I consider Mick a great colleague, a mentor, and a friend. And I just want to make sure that in the official record of the Board of Public Works that well wishes are extended to Mick in his upcoming retirement. And just want to thank Mick for all his many years of mentorship to me as a city employee, and just appreciate all he's always done for this city. So big thank you to Mick Renheisen. That's all I have.
I second that. That's wonderful. Thank you. Great guy.
Well, if we've got a second, I feel like we should.
Can the board
bring the Board of Public Works into that?
Yeah, can the Board of Public Works issue some sort of proclamation?
Yes. I think we should.
I don't know if we have that authority, but I'll check state statute.
Sounds good.
Consider it a quasi proclamation.
Here, here.
Yeah.
He's been great.
Yes, thanks to Deputy Mayor Renheisen. Because we do still have members of the public, I thought I'd give another call for petitions and remonstrances. If we have any public comment on something that was not on the agenda that anyone would like to make at this time, now is another opportunity to do so.
If anybody does wish to do so, you can use the chat function, or you could use the raise hand function to offer that comment. I do not see any raised hands from the members of the public or any chats coming through, Kyla.
Thanks. Next up, we have approval of claims. Are there any questions on claims?
No.
Do we have a motion on claims?
I move that we approve claims $3,035,709.51.
And I second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. And if there is nothing else on the agenda this evening, I would call for adjournment.
Thank you, everyone. Enjoy the weather.
Beth, will you call for adjournment?
Yes, I call for adjournment.
Great. Thank you. All right. Have a great evening, everyone. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you too. Bye-bye.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.